Okay, my friends, so here we have the epic battle between the Barbarians and Carthage, and here are the two armies. And right now, not looking very fair, because here's the Barbarian army, and they've got this card here, which allows them to do an epic envelopment, which means they're going to add a green die to one of their one of their envelopments if they get a chance, of which there's two cards that will allow them to do that. It's very well placed. In the meantime, one of their faction developments is that they cannot be enveloped, which is really interesting. So the Carthaginians don't have any general, so they don't get any tactical cards, but the Barbarians have a competent general, so they're going to get 3. So let's take these, once again creating yet more unbalancedness. But let's see if any of these are going to be relevant. So play after losing a roll to control a hill. You take control of it. Okay, so we'll see if we get a hill. Seize the initiative. Choose a file instead of your opponent when it is their choice to do so. Okay, we'll see if it's useful. Skillful disengage. A better general can stop the battle after phase 1, finish the battle without doing phase 2. Okay, I guess we can maybe see how things go and if any of that is actually going to be relevant. So I'll just place those up here and we'll see how all that goes. So huge advantages for the Barbarians going into this. See if you think this is going to be a bloodbath or not. But in the meantime, what we have to do is we have to set up our armies. There are 2 bits of terrain here. I'm just going to go back over here and just remind ourselves, yep, it's 2 rocky regions. So we're not going to take the forest. Instead, we're going to have 2 rocky regions. We also have the opportunity to say that we can fight at the coast, and the defender gets to choose, which is the Carthaginians, of which they're at huge risk of envelopment. So the answer is going to be yes, that is what they're going to do. So we are going to place that out over here and put it over there. And then we've got 2 bits of rocky terrain. So we're going to see what those look like. Aha, so one is indeed a hill. So that goes into slot number 7. Now what happens here? What's the order of effect? Now when you read it in the rules, the order of effect is that you choose whether you're going to fight the coast first or not. So the fact that that's here, I think that just gets discarded. Oof, another bit of not good luck for the Carthaginians. And now we have a hill, and so we roll for seizing the hill, which is going to go into row number 5, and we basically don't need to do it. I'll do it so that you can actually see what it looks like. So the Carthaginians, they would basically just roll a black, but then because it's the lowest, and so let's see what they get as a result of that. It's just blank anyway. So then there's the competent general who gets a roll of green, and so you see he gets that, which means he gets a higher roll, so he wins it anyway. But if we didn't, we would then have the opportunity to take the hill after the roll anyway. So we must secure the high ground or die. Follow me. Okay, so that's playing out either way. So they are going to actually win and take that hill. So that's going to come up over here. Now we need to figure out how these armies are going to be put out. So of course, in a 2-player game, if you weren't soloing it, what would happen here is that you choose and then lay them out as you like. But in this game, we don't have that opportunity. But just for that little bit of bias, let's go ahead and let's do the Barbarians first. So if we're not going to have that flank, so if we're going to have the hill, then what I want is something there that is going to be really good in the terrain. I think we're not going to put our general out in the first instance because we want to try and save him. So who's good in the terrain? Is there anyone who's better in the terrain? So the veteran lowland warriors doesn't matter, but they do get an automatic kill on S on foot troops if they are in good going. So they would be good to actually not have in the terrain. Yeah, all of these are actually better. Except for the javelins. So javelin, they'd be really good to put there. Okay, they'd be good to put there. They actually function better on the hill, which is funny. So I think if we're going to have them there, we'll have them here, our Nubians. So our lowland warriors, all of them are better. That means someone's got to have to... Right, so I think the easy thing... There's no point in having the elephants. And it's all their advantages are in good going as well. So there's no point in having the elephants. So we'll put them out to the flank. And of course our chariots are going to be out in the flank as well. Okay. And we're going to take advantage of our ability to be able to envelop. That is such a huge difference. There's no way that I'm going to deploy them and not risk. Yeah, they're too expensive. They're too good. I'm not going to risk them not getting to use their red die. So it's going to be, I think, maybe do we forsake them and just allow our lowland warriors to deploy into here. Basically just allowing them to die, basically. And then do I go into here and then keep them in reserve? And I think the answer is yes, is what I want to do. Veterans don't come around a lot, but they're expensive. And we have a chance to make veterans of these guys over here. So actually, I think then what we'll do... What do I want to do? Yeah, place them in here in case it's a disaster. These two in reserve. Okay? That's what we're going to do. And then all of those will be turned over. Right? And because of the difference in terms of the general, so we've got a competent general for the barbarians, which means that they have 3 stars, which means that 3 of the Carthaginians that have been deployed will have to be revealed as well. So at this stage, it's like, what's the best thing to do? So I guess your cavalry is going to be on your flanks. We're not going to have any reserves here. Oh, sorry, there we go. Cavalry on the flanks. The Dacian phalanxmen are better in the hill. They're not going to get to use that, though. That's the only problem. That's going to be a disadvantage. So maybe we just have them here. In good going. Fighting in good going. But we don't have the hill. See, that's why this is so frustrating. So we can't leave a gap. So which side do we want to leave the gap on? So the thing is here is there's a little bit of a tell here because we know that these are mercenary cards. Of course, all these will be put out at the same time, so you wouldn't have that knowledge necessarily. So you just have to spread these as best you can. And who do we want to protect? Who do we want to actually provide the protection for? If we're going to keep someone and lose someone, who do we want to keep them for? I'm hoping that they've got a good card in the middle there, so I'm actually going to place them here. Okay, so then all of this would be turned over. And yeah, just like that. And this is the next stage where we have some more epicness, right? Because then you get to do the reveal, and this is the point where you reveal all of your cards. And these ones in reserve as well, they'll actually be face down so that you wouldn't know. Okay, so here we have it, nice and still, ready for the engagement. Let's flip them over and see what we got. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay, we'll place them here so we know who's there. It's also going to provide some extra protection for the phalanxmen. Not very loyal that these mercenaries who have just switched sides are now going to have the opportunity to have some protection, but it is up against the barbarians' best troops. So at this stage, here we have the open battle. So first what we do is that we have any bows, first of all, it's any siege equipment, which we don't have any. Then it's bows, of which do we have some bows? We don't actually have any bows. So then it goes to your skirmishers, and so because barbarians are attacking, they'll go first. So we've got 2 examples. Oh, hang on. Their foot. They should have a battle card. So I'd said to you before that actually these guys wouldn't be put out, but because I've made a mistake there, yikes, they're going to go into here. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to attack from here first. Why not? So they are going to attack, because they're on the hill, they're going to attack with a white die. Special effect will do nothing here. So it's okay, and we've got a wound. Okay, so that's a very, very good start. Excellent. So they're now going to go back behind because there is no response in this case. And then we come over to here, and the Carthaginians are going to use their Numidian javelin men. We are in good going, which is a white die. Special effect will not do anything in this case. Let's see how they get on. Oh, and look, it's a wound. That is not good for our Sodori. Yikes. And then once again, I'm going to place them back here. Just like that. And finally, we then have our Numidian javelin men here in good going, which means that we are attacking with a white die. Let's see how they get on. S effect, I just forgot to say, S effect is not going to do anything against our Sukatari. So that is that round over. Now what we do is we go into the charge. So we go into the charge phase, and once again it's going to be the Barbarians that are going to start with that. So where do we want our initial charge to come in? I think let's go ahead and start over here. I quite like this. So we're in good going, which means we've got a green, no sorry, we've got a yellow die, and it's going to be up against another yellow die. Now the S effect here is going to end up killing these Sukari, so let's see how this gets on. And it's an S, there you go, so these guys are dead. Boom, absolutely annihilated. But let's see if they have the opportunity to take them out. Now because the S effect only works in terrain, it's not going to have any effect here, so they've got to get a really good strike. They've got to get the skull here if they're going to take them out. Oh, and it's just a wound, so there you go. So that has not worked out, so let's do that just to mark that we've done it. So then the Carthaginians are going to choose, and I think we're going to choose this one right down the middle because I think we're feeling good about our Dacians here. So they are going to attack with a green die, and in this case the S effect will count as a kill. So let's see how we get on. And it's another wound, which means that these Suduri are going to be taken out, but let's see whether or not they succeed or whether they're dying in vain. So they are going to get to roll a red die in this case because we're in good going, and the S effect will count as a kill. Let's see how we get on. Oh, and it's only a wound. There we go. So Phalanx men coming out bloodied, but still good. Alright, so that will place that down here. So then what we have is the Barbarians going next. And in this case, let's have our lowland warriors. What we'll do, yeah, let's have our lowland warriors attacking here. So because the terrain is here, they're attacking in good going, which means it's a white die. The S effect will count because the hill is over here. It's not over where they are being attacked. So let's have a go. It's a blank, so no good. So now we have our Sukari wounded, but they are going to be attacking into terrain, and in this case that's the best possible thing. The S effect is going to count. Let's see how we get on. Ah, whoopsie daisy. So we dropped the die. It came out. Let's have another go, and it's a kill, a straight up kill. Look at that. Boom, boom, straight up kill those lowland warriors. So that's gone really well for the Carthaginians so far. Right, now what we have is that we have what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Pardon me, look at this, guys. Getting this all wrong. Put those cards out the wrong way. Anyway, what do we want to do here? I think let's go and have this attack here because we want to save that one for the envelopment because that's going to work really, really well. So our veteran lowland warrior is going to be attacking with a green and a white die, and the S effect is not going to do anything here because it's not against infantry, and that's a green, so that is a kill, straight up kill. So the Hispanic cavalry annihilated. But let's see if our old veterans are going to get out of this alive or whether they're not. And it's once again a green and white die. In this case the S effect is not going to take effect here against this loose formation. So let's see how we get on. It's a wound. Okay, so not enough to take them out. It's not looking good for the Carthaginians right now. And the last one we have is the charge on this flank over here. Carthaginians forced to have to take this engagement. So let's start with the Carthaginians. They're in good going, which means they get a green and a white die. Let's see how they do against our elephants. It's a wound. Okay, so the elephants are going to be wounded. But our Numidian elephant's now going to get a chance to attack. It's in good going, which means they get a green die. And the S effect, let me just read this. So S means that they, it's a blank circle, which means they'll basically kill anything. And the cross means that they'll get a kill against chariots or cavalry, and this is cavalry. So basically any result that isn't blank is going to land a kill. So this is why these elephants are really, really powerful. Let's see how they get on. Oh, it's blank. So they charged our cavalry right at the edge of the sea, and they absolutely missed. Check that out. Just check that out. Okay, so at this stage, once that is done, there's then the opportunity for the envelopment to take place, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to have an envelopment take place here, and we're even going to use our card where we go ahead and we add an extra roll onto here. Now we're going to have to actually wait until all this clears out, I realise. So let's go ahead and do the clearing first, because it has not gone very well on this flank for the Carthaginians, losing their cavalry and their Sukari. That is really not looking good for them at all. So these cards are dead. These javelins are go back into our reserve. They managed to survive, and this is where we're sitting here. The Siduri, they have been killed, as well as these lowland warriors. Woo. So they come off. Javelins going to go into here. So place those there to show that they've been killed. And oh, there goes some more javelins that are going to come off. They've done their job. Right. So now we have to do a little bit of reforming. Okay, so do we want to take that hill? Not really. Our elephants are really, really exposed over in this flank here, though. We don't have anyone that we can actually pull in, other than if we want the general to join, of which I think it might be a good idea to do it in terms of the envelopment. So we're going to add yet another card into here. The general is going to join, and that means that he's going to join with the envelopment, but we're going to have to see if we get a chance to do that first. So I think that the Carthaginians don't really want to move. They want the enemy to come to them. But it's going to be really tricky about, you know, are they going to attack sideways and using a supporting action? We'll see how that plays out. But we don't want them to sit here. We definitely want them to be good going, because that's where they're going to get their advantage. So the naked Gestati, they're going to move over one. So are the Lowland Warriors. And they can move over here. And they can move over here, and they can go in diagonally as well, but they've already made that move there. So this is what the next round is actually going to look like, because that's all that we're able to do, which means that the Barbarians are actually attacking here, and there's a disadvantage. And it's just made me realize that so I've moved them over here because they actually can't go diagonally. Only the cavalry or the elephants can do that. So wow, this is going to be really tricky. Now we move into the actual battle, and our envelopment is going to have to happen in the next turn. But let's see if the Barbarians actually manage to survive that long. This is quite a good battle, actually. So starting again with the Barbarians, let's see what we want to do. And I think we're going to have our elephants attacking here. So in good going, anything is going to get a result. So let's see what happens. There we go, and we have our result. So these guys are killed. So our citizen cavalry, they're going to get a chance to respond to this. SFX not going to do anything, and we have our choice. Do we want a Hispanic Custari to lend a hand here or to here? Do we want their support? Which way do we want their support to go? And the answer is we definitely don't want to leave the elephants alive. But these guys are nasty as well. In fact, in good going, it's actually even worse. Is it? No, because they could take out anything in good going. But they've got better dice. Oh, that is such a dilemma. Such a dilemma. I'm not sure it really makes a difference at this stage. but I don't want elephants coming back on us later. So okay, let's go and put this into the elephants. So it's a supporting action, which means instead of using the yellow, they're actually going to use the green, but they're not going to take any hits in this case. So let's see how we get on. And yeah, we've got plenty of stuff here. There's a kill. So those elephants are going down. So that's what's happened over here. In this rank then, in this rank, what's going to happen is that we're going to have the phalanxmen attacking with their green die. S effect means that it will count to as a kill. So let's see how they get on. It's blank. Okay, so our naked Gestati are going to be okay. And attacking good going, they're getting a yellow die. S effect is going to count. Let's see what happens against these phalanxmen. And it's a kill. There you go. So the traitorous phalanxmen have chosen the wrong side, and they have been killed as a result of it. These guys would then have the opportunity to do a supporting action. In fact, we should have done that as part of that roll, but it wouldn't have made any difference. What that would have looked like is when we rolled our yellow die, we would have also rolled as a supporting action, the green turns into a white, and the white turns into a black. And so if we had added those, it's also in good going, so the S effect would count. What would have happened? It would have added an extra wound, so that could have made the difference, but that's fine. It wasn't necessary in the end. So that's all of that combat taking place. They've lost the elephants, but that possibly would have happened anyway, so that's a shame for the barbarians. And a shame for us, because we want to see more elephants. Meanwhile, these citizen cavalry and the phalanxmen have perished. And at this stage, there's only a single battle card left, and so that means that the army has been completely annihilated. Okay, so that is the end of the Carthage's army number 2. Let me show you everybody who's been killed. Right, so that's what they have lost. These wounds can come away now, and let's take a look at what is left of these barbarians over here. So that's the ones that are left. These are the ones that they have lost, including elephants and their Saduri. So really difficult going forwards then, just because some of their most elite and effective units have been taken out. However, we do have an opportunity to upgrade to upgrade some of our units here. So I'm going to have to go and have a quick look. I'm going to just bring those over here, and we're going to get to upgrade 2 of them. And I don't think that there is such a thing as veteran naked Gestati. I don't think that thing actually exists, but let me just go in and we will have a quick look through. Nope, not a thing. Didn't think it was. There's no such thing as upgraded javelin men either, as far as I'm aware. I'm gonna look through these again. Shuffle. Nope. Okay, can we upgrade our Numidian javelin men maybe? Or is it just the case that everyone who can get upgraded has been killed? So they're Numidians. So okay, let's go to that little section. I find that it's really good to just keep the mercenaries in kind of roughly the right place, so you can go through them very easily. Not a thing. No such thing as upgraded Numidian javelin men. Okay, that's a shame. So in this case, our chariots and our owners are already veterans, so there are no upgrades that we can do. The last thing that we can do then is we can roll to see whether or not our general is going to upgrade. So what we'll do is we'll give this a roll, and so the skull is like 2 levels up, the cross is 1 level up, so there's only 1 level to go. Let's see if this is going to make a difference. And you roll with, oh, do you roll both dice? Yes, you roll both dice. Let's see how that goes. He upgrades. Fantastic. Now I'm going to have to actually check. Because one of our armies has been knocked out, that means that there should be 1 general available. Oh, and he's going to be in this deck here. So who is coming back from the dead? Let's take a look. Is someone coming back from the dead? Oh, so we've got a choice. So it's Vercingetorix or Ariovistus. What do we think? It's got to be Vercingetorix, doesn't it? Yeah, he's coming back on. Got to be the him. So absolutely brilliant result for the Barbarians there. Let's pick up the dead and place them back into our draw piles. As I said, it's good to keep things together. Where's our Numidians? Here they are. Here's the Numidian elephants. Let's put them back into there. And at this stage, then what we'll do is we will go back over to the battle board and we will look at the implications for the wider campaign. Catch you there.